Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical, this is Mystical Gaming, and we're back into Watch Your Realms, and today we are doing this. Got my second one done out of the way, one more to go. So which one have we got? We've got Lord of Styx. Here he is. Challenge him. Let's have a quick look at the boss, what he actually does, that sort of stuff, and I'm not that far away from S+. Right, anyway, so I digress. Right, here's the boss. Couple of things we want to know. Magic resistance is fully topped out, so you may wish to stay away from, if you're trying to do damage on him, steer away from magic resistance, and his defense is much lower, so we want to be doing non-magic damage to him to do more damage to him. The other thing to bear in mind is light armour. What does light armour mean? Light armour means piercers, doesn't it? Here's our little graphic here, and that's our piercers up there. They're going to get a 20% buff from just doing damage to him because he's in light armour. So there is something else there to remember. This is why some of the champions, popular heroes, are piercers or marksmen. So his skills, perpetual barrier. After the Lord of Styx enters the boss rush, so we know how this works now. You get a little phase to start with, and then you enter the boss rush phase, and once we enter the boss rush phase, it then builds up this barrier. So the number of damage required to shatter the Soulkeeper shield will slowly increase. So there's a number attached to the shield, and that will get larger, and it means, it's strange, the wording here is wrong. I think it means hits, not damage. So that the higher the required number of damage, the greater the damage dealt by heroes after the shield is shattered. That is worth remembering. So if the shield's got more numbers attached to it, or the further you get on, then the more damage you'll do to the boss after the shield is shattered. So do remember that the further you get on, the more damage you're going to do. So it is important to keep getting rid of the shields, and that way after the shield's gone you can do increased damage, and that scales up the further you get onto the fight. So remember that. And all the enemies will take continuous damage while the shield is active. So while the shield is active, you're going to be taking a little bit of damage, just continuous stuff. It's nothing major, it's nothing really too big to worry about, but we do want to be aware of it. Now, let's look at the shield. So the Soulkeeper shield, the Lord of Styx periodically activates the Soulkeeper shield and takes no damage while the shield is active. Each incoming damage consumes one stack of Soulkeeper shield. Now again, I think that means hits, so each hit you do consumes one stack of the Soulkeeper shield. If the shield remains unbroken for a certain amount of time, we see a taskbar or time bar going across the top, just under his head or just above him, and then as that counts down, that's our timing to break the shield. If the shield remains unbroken for a certain time, the Lord of Styx will unleash Spectral Demise, dealing massive damage to all enemies on the battlefield multiple times. If the shield is shattered, which is the bit we're aiming for, heroes gain damage increase and restore rage equal to 50% of their rage cap. Right? So that's a bonus. If you get the shield down, you then get a rage boost and a damage increase as well. So that is fantastic. Soul Reaping Scythe. The Lord of Styx wields a scythe that launches a single attack on all enemies on the battlefield. That's fine. That isn't anything for us to really worry about. Evil Onslaught. The Lord of Styx summons a horde of evil spirits to assault the battlefield, dealing damage multiple times to all enemies, only unleashed during the boss rush phase. So there we go. That's pretty much what the boss does. Now let's go and have a quick look at it and see what's happening. Okay, so this is a team we've put together for a little test run on the boss, so we can sort of see what's happening and get a better idea of how he actually works, and that way you will have a better understanding of how the boss works, and you can build your team accordingly, and you'll get more points, more prizes, and all is good in your little world. So right, let's start off the boss fight. Boss come up, do his grand entrance, everything good, and then we can put down our heroes, which is nice. So chuck them down pretty much anywhere. It's not overly important for us at the moment. There we go. That is everyone down on the field. Right. Boss does his cast bar for the shield to come up. We can see the shields come up and then it's replaced. So the shield's got a number up there. Each hit we do, the number of the shield comes down until that's depleted, and then the shield disappears. Above that we've got the cast bar as well for his Spectral Demise, which is his big hit. So the shield's gone down now. The boss takes more damage from us, which is nice. And we can see just on the top there, top right, just underneath his health bar is how long it's going to be before he starts casting again for the shield. Remember, the shield does have a cast time, so even when that hits 0, you still do have a bit of time before he actually casts anything. So there we go, there's the cast bar there, and hopefully we can kill him off There we are. Right, so the boss is done then, and now he goes into the boss rush phase. So that's how the phases transition. Otherwise, you're back into another shield, and you've got to do the shield again before he takes any damage. Now, as you can see, the timing for his shield recalibrates or resets to the 19-20 seconds that it is. Now we're down to 9 seconds, and I am going to trigger Setram now. So if I trigger Setram now, he's going to start doing his ultimate, and his ultimate will be ticking away when the boss brings up his shield. So there's the shield's cast bar. Now bear in mind, before the shield is up, there's the shield up. Let's press pause. So it now needs 100 hits, we can see. And Setram is, what, a third of the way through his rage already. So go careful with how you're prepping Setram and that sort of things. But he's there ready for the boss's shield, and he's going to do lots of hits on the boss's shield to take that down for us. Now, then we slowly work through this. As we get towards the end of the shield, we're going to trigger Nox. So there's Nox just triggering in at the end of the shield, and now the shield is gone, we will trigger Helga. Now there's a couple of things to notice now. So Setram's about to finish his ultimate. Remember, he attacked the shield and aided in that shield coming down. So when we unpause this, have a look down just beneath me, there's Setram there, and you'll see the jump in his rage. There you go, he ticks off straight away at 70 rage. But Helga coming off next, she did no damage to the shield, she doesn't get that rage jump. So if you haven't attacked the shield, it appears that you don't get any rage regen there. Now Nox attacked right at the end of the shield, and this time the boss will go all the way through and he will recast his shield again. There's Nox back attacking the shield, and he gets a jump in his rage as well. So bear that in mind. If you do damage to the shield, you actually get a rage jump. No damage to the shield, it appears that you get no rage jump there whatsoever. So bear that in mind when you're making your team up. That is relatively important to know, particularly with the likes of Setram, that you're going to want his ultimate to come back round again, so you can time it for when is you want maximum amount of time between shields, but you want to make sure you hit the shield to start with. So hit the shield, maximum amount of downtime, then he gets that rage jump, and it should be available again for him next time the shield is up. So that's how we make our team up. So when we have a look at the popular heroes, we can see that Setram's right up there. Silas is up there, obviously, because he is a piercer, so absolutely fantastic. Setram doing piercing damage as well, loads of hits. He's up there as well. Now, this weekend, don't forget, Ivor is up for he's up on the Ancients. So if you get him, you will be able to use him in here. Apparently he's really well rated. I do use him on my other account where I've got one. Helga is used up here for her speed and her number of attacks. So remember, she does magic damage, so she's not going to do a lot of damage for you, but she is going to get that shield down. You need the shield down to do damage to the boss, and the more shields you get down as that number grows. We saw it start on 80 for the first one, then the next one was 100, and it goes up and up and up. So the more shields you take down, the more damage you can do to the boss. So you may only need sort of 3 actual damage dealers, 2 people to take down the shield. So when you're building up your team, just think about who's doing what and where for you. So Calypso, again, really good hitter, has a lot of hits, and the further it goes on, the more of those, is it soul summons that she has above her head? Each one of those does a hit. So when she's got 4 of them, I think it is, and her, that's 5 hits every time she hits. So that's a large number of hits for you. Ingrid's up there. Why is Ingrid up there? Well, Ingrid's up there because she's a very well balanced champion, and even though she does magic damage, will still do a lot of damage to the boss. Constance is up there. You'll get a little bit of healing out of her. She'll be able to attack, she'll be able to do a number of hits, and she'll give an inspiration buff for you as well, so bear that in mind. And then Eloin, because she's absolutely fantastic everywhere, and why wouldn't you have her in your team? Yeah, I've got her, so I'm using her. That's all. So that is my team going forward. So I place my team down. Now the other thing to bear in mind, if you're using a healer or rage regen or anything like that in your team, remember, if you've got them in your invig set, remember you can place them specifically to give the invigoration buff to whoever you want to have it. There's the first one. The shield should come down nice and easily for us. There we are, and then we should manage to attack the boss until such time as the boss is dead, and then we go in. That will reset, so it's on about 9, 8, 7, 6. We can see that counting down, and then we're back up to the 20-second mark. Right, let's slow this down as we go into the boss fight. So I do want to make sure that my champions get enough time up on the boss, and the fact that they get this jump and they're back round again for the next shield. So pretty much when the first shield's up, that's when I have to cast Setram. Now this, just for me, is so that he can get round fast enough to actually get his ultimate back up, and the same is with Silas. It's just so I can get maximum time afterwards that they can do. So they've got 20 seconds now to do as much damage to the boss with, which is roughly how long their ultimates are lasting for, and then they're going to get that jump of rage. So there's Setram's finishing now. He could have done with another sort of 5 seconds. There's Silas there. He could have done with another sort of 5 seconds later, but whether the shield would have been up would be another matter altogether. We can trigger off there. We can trigger off there a bit later, and we can trigger off Setram a bit later, and we can see how far we can push this. And it's sort of adjusting to your own account over when you want those ultimates ready and how quickly or how long you're going to want them for, with the shield being down. So bear that in mind. You do want to make sure that those ultimates finish just in time for them to get a nice rage boost, and once the rage is boosted, Setram didn't there, so by the time Setram's ultimate went off, the shield was already down. Bear that in mind. We've got a little delay on Setram, so that is going to cause us a bit of an issue. So much of an issue where we get this one down. We just about get that one down, and now Setram's ultimate's ready. That is no good for me. I'm gonna need it ready for when the boss does his ult, or when the boss puts his shield up. During that, that's the time I'm gonna need Setram to do his ultimate. There's Silas. He took a nice jump there, and we've got about 4 seconds of free space with Silas. Shield going back up. Trigger Setram, trigger Helga, and then we will wait until it's about the 50% mark for the Spectral Demise. Then we'll trigger Silas. Silas will get a few hits there, and then mostly he is on for the rage. He's got his ultimate up for that gap in between. Setram's done, and he's got a nice rage boost. There is Silas, just about finished there with about 3 seconds to go. So we were good. We had about 3 seconds spare, which is nice. Helga, go. Then Setram. Give it a little while. Probably leave it a little bit later. Get the max out of Silas as we can. There we are. There's Setram done now. Setram was done very early. Could have done Setram considerably later if we're honest. And Silas got that down much quicker than anticipated. So we missed out on quite a considerable amount of damage there. Now, gearing wise for this, gone for trying to get substat of speed on as much stuff as I possibly can. I don't see this going down. There's a big hit for the Demise. Now, had we not messed up at the start with our Setram and missing one, who knows, maybe we'd have done better. But I think if I play around with it, I could easily get S+, and it's just doing that timing for yourselves there. Oh, it was a new record, there we go. There's Ingrid, of course, and then Silas coming in shortly after her, along with Setram. They're getting that most downtime. Maybe Arrogance could be swapped out you can't time his ultimates. That's always a bit of RNG for you, and Helga's down there mostly for a lot of hits. So that's really how the team's running. And it's not too shabby there. I don't think it's too hard to get S plus. There you go. I think we're only a little bit away. Get that shield down. I think we'd boost up into S plus, maybe double S. I might try again later. When looking for gear, literally all we've done, attack percentage or crit damage. Then we've gone crit rate and speed, and then we found stuff that's got that sort of substats on them. Now bear in mind, if you're using things like Soulbound Arcana, if you've got a full set of it that makes you go quick enough, then absolutely brilliant. And also those ultimates coming back round are really going to help. That Soulbound Arcana set is really going to get up to that 50% extra damage fast, and the further you go on in the fight, the more damage you do as well. So yeah, do really well if you can get Soulbound Arcana set on that makes you go quick enough. The speed on people, there you go. See, I had attack speed there, and that is just because everything I've got on him is with attack speed, and then I've got attack speed there as well. So that's pretty much how I geared up my champions, just trying to get the number of hits in required, because you want those shields down. More shields get down, more damage you do, more damage you do, more points you get, more points you get, more prizes you get. That is it. It's essentially it for you. So I hope that's helped you out. If you've got this far in the video, I definitely deserve a thumbs up. So if you could do that for me, that'd be great. And if you haven't subscribed, you hit the subscribe notification as well. And I'll see you all in a video again soon. Cheers for your time. Goodbye.